What's up, everybody? This is the Fairly Awesome Podcast, and I'm your host this week, Nate Bushing, and I'm joined with Ryan McDowell.
Hello.
Chris Keene.
Hey, everybody.
And Josh Bushing.
What up?
How's it going, guys?
It's fantastic.
It's been a little hiatus here.
A little bit, yes. Trying to work around Easter and aligning ourselves for Mother's Day and whatnot, upcoming holidays.
We don't have mothers. We're robots from the future. Thank you very much. This is how I talk, like Howard Cosell now.
Good. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a throwback for all them kids out there.
They wouldn't know. Yeah. They don't understand the reference.
No, they wouldn't understand the reference. So let's dive right into it, guys. So
What's for week?
Week?
Oh,
May
it
the
is
4th?
May the
Week May the
4th be
4th.
with you.
Today is actually May the 4th. When we're recording this.
Oh, so it's
Now when you're listening to it, we're going to listen to it in the future.
in the future.
So
Oh.
it'll feel like an 80s movie.
Yes.
It'll feel like, 3 or 4 days ago when you're listening to this. It'll feel like Doc Brown just showed up in a hideous...
Or
We gotta go back to Sunday.
or Michael Bean will form in a naked egg in front of your house and ask what year it is. What year? What day is it? Kind of Jack Bauer-ish. You're like, what? All right, so
That's two references.
there are a lot of references in this podcast.
Wow.
You have to follow.
Tangents.
Yes, lots of tangents. So, recently, Amazon has made a deal with
The devil.
with the devil.
I guess not that far.
With the government, with the devil,
With Comcast?
with,
I was
with
gonna say-
Comcast. No,
Comcast.
no. Actually, they made a deal with HBO.
Oh, Habbo, everybody's favorite.
Habbo, yeah, home box office, as the
Habbo.
old Habbo, yeah. And apparently, they're going to be bringing their content. What do you think about this, Chris?
I think that it's amazing and fantastic, and I can say nothing terrible about it.
Liar! Tell me
gets
what you really feel.
It gets my whites white and leaves a pearly luster on my teeth. I don't know. I think
Are you talking about Colgate?
Colgate.
You're
That's right.
reading
Off
the Colgate
podcast
Yes.
references. This is even better.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd actually be a really good thing. It's going to bring a handful of older HBO shows right now to Amazon's instant streaming, which if you have a Prime membership, it's included in the unlimited Prime streaming. So I think when we looked it up, it's there's a lot of their miniseries, like Band of Brothers and John Adams, that are coming. There are some of their comedy specials.
The Pacific.
Yeah, the Pacific.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of their comedy specials, like Louis Black and Louis C.K. and stuff like that, is gonna come to Amazon. Some of their older series, like The Wire and Oz and Sopranos.
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it sounds like, what did it say? There's a 3-year lag right now, is what they're planning on
For
doing.
anything
For
going
anything
into the
new.
future.
Yeah,
right.
so going into the future, with the exception of Game of Thrones.
That's kind of a
Apparently,
long time.
it is kind of a long time, but I guess it gives them time to make what they think they're going to make off of any kind of box sets. But I mean, really, what you've made off of a box set, you're probably going to make off of a box set at this point. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think the biggest surprise, and maybe it's not really a big surprise, is that Game of Thrones is not part of this at all. That
Neither is True Detective.
Yeah.
True Detective and
Too recent for True Detective.
yeah, some of the more
probably.
recent ones. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because up to this point they've only been available either having an HBO subscription or HBO Go, which meant having an HBO subscription
Or box set.
or owning them, right? So
Which is interesting because Amazon right now, roughly a month or so before the box set comes out, you can buy it on Amazon. And you can watch it on Amazon Instant Video. But you got to buy the season, right? So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's good that we're starting to go down this road, because this is the first avenue in which you don't need a cable subscription to see HBO on demand content like this without having to buy a box set.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good because it's sort of a test bed for this. I mean, I hope that's how they're using this as a test bed, and that what we might see is that even if they think that Game of Thrones is valued higher, or they get new shows like True Detective, maybe they think that's valued higher or whatever, or should be above and beyond what Prime members get. I think it should be available, and you should be able to buy them per episode. That's my take on that. If they think that falls outside of the deal, that's fine. Make it available to me so that I can cut the cable, or I actually already have, but I mean, make it so that I can, I don't need a cable subscription to do that. That there's some other way I can buy your content.
And I was going to say, technically, you still kind of can now, right? I mean, you could, on Amazon, you could buy
you gotta wait
the seasons.
You gotta wait, though.
Yeah, until after they've aired.
Right. Well, even specifically for HBO content, you gotta wait until about a month before they release the box set. So the whole season's gotta be done.
Yeah.
And then it's like a month or so before the box set comes out that they're available for purchase as episodes.
And see, I worry about that too. Like, when this may in fact encourage content creation as well. Where in the past, if you wait and didn't buy, if all you did was buy the DVDs later, that didn't necessarily guarantee a show was going to get renewed. Based upon the content of the sale.
You're saying it gives them another avenue for
Nielsen ratings?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like demographic information, so you can see
who's watching.
Amazon has this many people actively watching your old episodes that would be interested in watching.
It's data mining for the studios even better than what they do now via the TV, via cable, essentially.
Via the telly.
Via the telly.
So I like this idea. And I'll explain how much I like it. I spent $100 for the Amazon Prime membership.
Yeah, I renewed mine.
But I wasn't even actually...
I got it before the price hike.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying is that I was off of his for Amazon Prime or whatever, because you can add
family
people
brothers.
Just to use the bonus shipping.
For those at home, they're brothers.
Yeah. So I finally just pulled the plug and was like...
Wait, you guys are brothers?
Yeah. I know.
Oh, shit. Mind blown.
Changes so much.
So, yeah, I definitely like this whole idea, and I figured that...
So you threw your dollars at it to support it.
This is good. It gets my money.
Yeah.
I think it really does. It really is going to be... I hope it really does well, because it'll be an avenue for HBO to get away from... like being locked into, because I think the issue they've had with HBO Go was kind of a good idea because everybody wants stuff streaming,
but you
still had to have a cable subscription.
The lawyers in there, like
right, and a lot of it was Comcast, and I'm sure DirecTV and Dish and all the cable companies being like, well, no, you can't take your content and go online with it separate from us because we still want that money. So yeah, I hope this kind of gives them an out to say, well, you know what, we don't need your cable subscription money anymore. We've got our own HBO Go that we can support, and we've got a little bit of revenue coming in from Amazon and possibly like a Hulu or Netflix or some other streaming service that you can get HBO content from. They can maybe instead of if they're worried about their own HBO Go system, maybe that's what they do is they switch to a straight license where they say, look, you want HBO content, cool. Here's how much it's going to cost to get
or something.
Well, so here's how this works now. So you've got Netflix at $8 a month, right?
Yeah.
You've got Amazon Prime, even with the price hike. When you do the
it's actually
math,
less. Yeah.
No, it's $8.25.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
At $100, it comes up $8.25.
But Netflix is supposed to
raise their prices.
raise
Actually,
their prices.
Okay,
Yep.
but still, you're sub $10 for both of those.
Right.
If you had a cable subscription. And you just throw that out the window as far as, I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, if you throw that out because different areas have totally different pricing. But if you had cable and you were just going to get HBO, it's like somewhere between $10 and $15 a month for the add-on for HBO.
Wow.
So here's my take on this. The extra content, or the 3-year gap or the stuff that's not in the deal, offer ways for this to be possible without a cable subscription. If you've already made a deal with Amazon, if the dollar figure is $15 a month, I don't know if I really feel that strongly enough about HBO content to pay $15 a month. If it was $10 a month and you got to have your, you tack it on and suddenly you get everything that you would get in HBO Go, and you can use HBO Go, and or you can use Amazon Instant if you like that better. That makes more sense.
Do you think some of the reason why this is happening now is also because of the Comcast Netflix deal in some ways? Do you think that gap has been bridged versus where there was kind of an antagonistic Netflix to
still
Comcast?
antagonistic.
It's still there, but I think
I don't think
maybe
that's
there's some contracts that have finally come up. I know HBO maybe had deals with all the different cable providers, and maybe Amazon's contract is finally.
Well, it is an interesting connection here, right?
Yeah.
Because Comcast is trying to buy Time Warner. Mm-hmm. Time Warner is the parent company for HBO.
Right.
So...
Is it Time Warner or Time Warner Cable? Because they are two different things, and Comcast is only buying Time Warner Cable,
Okay.
which is the whole thing are separate. So maybe not really any kind of relation there. I don't know.
It's possible. Maybe I'm just looking for
I was
looking for signs in something that's not
Time
necessarily
Warner
there.
connected to Illuminati.
Yeah, the number 23. Oh my God.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that Amazon could probably get away with if this actually does take off would be discounted season episodes. Like if they manage to pull HBO, let's say they pull Game of Thrones current season. So a week after it shows up on HBO, you can buy it. You can buy the episode or rent the episode on Amazon. It would be in Amazon's best interest, possibly, to say if you have our Prime membership, which HBO probably gets some sort of minor cut of from the streaming, that you get 25 to 50% off buying each episode. So in addition to your 3-year lag, you can also buy current episodes at a discount and stay up. I mean, if you really like the HBO stuff, you can stay on top of it that way. And it's an even bigger incentive because now instead of, a box set that costs $60 or a single episode that costs $4 or $5, you're paying $2 an episode. And you're still paying them the streaming rate that they're getting for all the old content.
Like, to me, I mean, that's a good
Pulling
idea.
stuff out of my ass.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think what I'm more interested in right now is, even if it's outside of my personal price range for what I would pay for it, I wish it was just available. You know what I mean? I wish there was the option. Even if it was stupid expensive, like to buy the whole season cost, to watch current season a day or two after it airs on HBO or even live, if it was like $100 for the season, that's too much for me. But some people would do it.
Yeah.
And there'd be a stream there, and then there'd be information
like
about
before the
what
box set is available, you could rent the episode for like $5 or something.
I don't know that anybody would pay $100 for that.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know,
$5
but-
for a season, there's 13 episodes, or $5 for an episode, 13 episodes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's still a revenue stream for them that they wouldn't already get, and it's just rental. This is like a one-time watch and you're done.
You say that nobody would pay $100 for a season, and I say it's too expensive. However,
There are people. Who
if
will
you're
do it.
willing to cut the cord for cable TV, right, and you're picking up these things,
Right.
you're already getting a lot of these savings. Like, if you look at even basic cable in our area is somewhere in the $40 to $60 range. Is like where you
and
end
that's
up.
just cable. That's not
Right.
including
Right, and then
your
you've got the
broadband can-
HBO on top of that.
Right.
So if you look at all of that, I mean, how many months does it take before $100 for one season?
Yeah. The other interesting thing is it almost kind of whets people's appetites for a standalone HBO Go.
It does moisten me up.
It gets Brian very moist.
Very.
But by having the streaming available on Amazon, which is a much more widely accessible service, because I would almost guarantee more people have an Amazon Prime account than have an HBO subscription through their cable provider.
Absolutely.
That you can say, and maybe not, but you could say,
I don't know.
okay, this is HBO streaming, so now you've got HBO streaming, so a couple years, or I guess, you got their 3-year lag, so for the next 5 years, Amazon is HBO's home for streaming. at the end of the 5-year or whatever contract, HBO says, look, we're making enough money from this that we're going to cut off the cable. We're going to go straight with HBO Go, and we're going to charge,
Whatever it is.
$100, even $100 a year, which is what Amazon's charging. So $8 a month, $8.25 a month. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sure people would be like, I'm good with $8 a month. That is totally fine with me for, current seasons of HBO shows, old HBO content, anything I want to stream whenever I want to stream it from HBO. Even if since I can't get it from anywhere else, whatever, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You can do like base pricing, like 1 month, 3 months, or the full year,
Right.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's cheaper if you buy it.
But I think it does. I think the Amazon thing gives them a much better foot in the door than HBO Go did.
Yeah.
The other thing about this is that for those that had already cut the cable and were looking to legitimately have some way to watch Game of Thrones, there wasn't an option. There still actually isn't an option,
Not really.
Yeah.
other than waiting and buying the whole box set.
Right.
So I don't know. I think even if you make it what seems absurdly high, to be legal or whatever, I think there's some merit in that you give people a legal avenue to watch this without a cable,
Yeah. Well, there was that Oatmeal comic, wasn't it? It was Oatmeal.
It's the Oatmeal,
where the guy
he
was
talks
like,
about-
I
I was
want
gonna
to give you
reference
money
that,
to pay Game of Thrones to see
watch
Game of
it.
Thrones, but there's no way for him to get Game of Thrones legally
Yeah.
without a cable subscription.
without a cable subscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you're talking at least $60, if not more, and then the 10 or 15 on top of that for the HBO subscription.
Yep.
Which HBO can charge what they want to charge
Right.
monthly.
Right,
That's
that's
fine.
their-
But the fact that you've got to have something that's 4 times as expensive in addition to that, just to even get access to
Right.
it, that's what trips me up.
Because a lot of the cable companies, they have a base broadband, like no frills. You get the basic cable channels and broadband for like $40 a
Package
month or
deal.
$50 a
Yeah,
month.
they do a
To
package
do
deal.
HBO, you pretty much always have to get you must have to have their
Basic cable.
digital package
Oh, yeah.
to be able to add on HBO. You can't just say, well, give me the $40 and tack on HBO.
You've
I
gotta
can
have their
You
HD
have to
package.
have the $60 to $80 to $100 package
Yep.
that you can then add HBO onto.
Yeah, that's
So it kind of
really
extra screws
expensive.
you.
Right.
So overall, I think it's a good thing. Really interested to see where it goes. Especially interested to see because, like you said, Game of Thrones is not included with this. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see what separate
What
deal they
does
work out
happen.
with Game
Yeah.
of Thrones, since it's such a blockbuster thing going on.
I think they'll find a way to make it, viable for other people
Yeah.
to pick it up, especially now that everybody seems to be cutting cable.
Because, like I said, even if they can get delayed episodes to buy, you've now got a legal outlet for not a lot of money to watch Game of Thrones. So unless you were gonna pirate it in the first place, chances are pretty good you go, okay, well I'll buy it off of Amazon then.
Right.
No big deal.
Yep.
So
All right. Well, speaking of being excited about new things, there's a little gem coming out this year called Alien Isolation. You guys, coming out in the fall
For the PCs and the consoles.
for the PCs and the consoles. Have you guys heard of this?
I have.
Wii game?
Yeah, Wii U actually.
Oh, Wii U.
yeah. It's off.
Haven't updated to that one yet.
Yeah, you haven't updated that. You got to send your console in and
I
get the new one
gotta
back.
get it traded in.
They stamped the U on there.
Oh, sweet.
That's all it is. But so
My U-less Wii.
So I'll say that critically, Alien games haven't got great reviews for a long time.
No.
Really, they haven't. But there have been some that have been good, despite the critics, and others that legitimately could have been much better. But like Colonial Marines was sort of the last one they did, and you guys played that, and you said you enjoyed it.
we
quite a bit.
enjoyed it, but it was not.
I think we just enjoyed mainly the fan service and then the fact that it was multiplayer.
And we played co-op too.
I think
Most
that
people don't
actually sorta
play through
helps.
that game co-op, or most people play
So you're
those kind of
saying
games
it
single
was
player.
better when you were playing with each other?
I see what you did there.
Ah.
I'm not backing into that stall.
This looks like a legitimate hole. What if I just stick my eye in here? What's
I'll
gonna
go.
happen?
So yes.
Yeah. But this is sort of different from all the other Alien games that have. I mean, everybody tries to say that, right? This is totally different from what you had before. But no,
this is like a genre that's kind of exploding, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's different to what they've done in the Alien, like, because before, Colonial Marines and AVP.
It's always focused on the action.
Right, is all action, run, gun. And this is supposed to be closer to the original Alien movie.
Right.
Where there is one alien on board this ship. And it's survival horror, right? I mean, you're trying to find things and scrounge and get away from it,
and that's kind of the thing. Is instead of attacking like hordes and hordes of them, there's just one, and you're supposed to be terrorized from like running away from it. And I don't know. I guess it depends on how scripted it is, like and those kinds of things too. I'm kind of nervous about that.
I hear it not being scripted. I mean, I've heard that the AI is pretty sophisticated and procedurally generated and everything, but I'm sure there's got to be moments where they have to just to make it a AAA game, to have that level of quality. And if there's got to be some sections where they have to like funnel you through a little bit.
You like run away from the monster thing. And
Amnesia.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, we're yeah. Prior to you getting here, we were discussing it. But.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's that genre. I think is starting to really get, DayZ kind of stuff.
So you think?
I think that
Dead Space sort
those
of,
kinds of things
yeah.
are like getting bigger, and more games are going to this. Like shooters are like, oh yeah, okay, we've had it. Like Doom, okay, we've had every weapon known to man. We've blown up all these monsters. How do we make the shooter better? And it's more just like first person running away from crap instead of.
Well,
it's sort of a subgenre.
Subgenre, yeah. They're using the first person perspective, but I think it's more akin to something like a Resident Evil, where it was
the early
the early Resident, not 5.
Okay. Where it was survival, not action.
Yeah,
right.
Everything has gone more action in the last, I would say 15 years.
We
games,
got to that, but then now we're in the cusp of going to a different direction.
Yeah, it's the counterculture.
I don't think you're gonna see the shooters go away. You're not gonna see the Battlefields and the Call of Duties. You're not gonna see those disappear or switch to this, but. I think you're right. I think this is sort of exploding more than it has in a long time. I mean, Dead Space was a game where it was sort of, if you've seen the movie Event Horizon, it was sort of like that, but you were sort of living it. Different story,
right?
But
it was still
right. Lots of stuff, and you or lots of crazy monsters coming at you at ridiculous speed, and you really didn't have enough ammo to just fire at everything. In some instances you just have to run, especially if you played on some of the harder difficulties, and that's sort of how I envision this game, although it looks like there are some it really looks like they're trying to just remake Alien the movie as a video game. I mean, it's different, right?
Yeah,
it is not the Nostromo.
You're the daughter apparently of Ripley's daughter, Amanda, I guess is her name, Amanda Ripley, and you're with a team, and you go to I think it's a station or something, and the alien is there,
right next to LV-226,
probably, or 426.
426.
Okay. Revoked your card.
I was like, let me play this nerd card, and you guys were like,
nope,
rejected from Nerdonia.
Stamp that one out. No, so.
It looks really interesting because I saw a dev diary on how they did the AI for the alien, because that is so important, right? I mean, it's you and the alien, and that's pretty much the only AI in there. I mean, there's supposed to be some
some other characters,
yeah, but
the AI for that crew is like point gun at ground, fire, and spin in a circle.
They use the model from
as good as Ryan.
They use the model from Modern Warfare, the fish. They just
So if you're running through a room, they like get out of your way.
Right.
Very nice.
Oh God! No.
So it's groundbreaking, is what that is.
Nice.
Next gen.
Yeah, I'm glad we had that in the next gen. But okay, so the dev diary was talking about. It sounded very Dead Space to me. If you've played Dead Space, you know that there's almost 2 levels for each level that you play, and one of it is where you can walk, and the other one is the vent system that surrounds the area that you're in.
Yeah.
And how the monsters, I mean, they're not just pre-programmed to pop out of this vent and that vent, and when you play through the next time, oh god, they're gonna jump down from here. I mean, there are a couple like that where they'll come out from predictable locations, but most of them are just free roaming, and they get released at a certain point, and then they'll come out of whatever area you're not looking at. They'll use your field of view and come out of a vent that is furthest from your field of view to try and surprise you and get that shock value that they couldn't get from a predictable view. And it sounds like that's what this Alien does, but it's based on sound as well.
Yeah.
So if you're making a bunch of noise, the alien knows where to look for you. If you're being quiet, not kicking over, the pails, steel pails and shit that are invariably
Like
on
hands.
Yeah,
Right.
on a station. You're like, who uses a pail in the future?
Right.
Somebody's gardening on this station. I don't
Plastic
get
buckets.
it. Yeah.
It's just like a shortage of plastic in these places.
It's like you don't mop the floor in space. Come on. Somebody's got to mop the floor.
I saw that one. That was...
So I don't know. It looks really
Space
interesting.
buckets.
Space bucket.
It looks really interesting because I kind of get into those things where you can't just die multiple times, and just keep going. Like it really does incite some fear.
Well, I think you can keep going.
Quick
but-
save.
Yeah, I'm
kind of
sure.
thing.
But I mean, like Dead Space, where it's not just like, oh, respawn, keep going. It's like you got to go back to the checkpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe the checkpoint's pretty long ago.
And plus,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought I heard, and this might have just been dev speak, that the alien actually can like hunt you by a smell too. And I don't know how they would accomplish that, but that was
Wait,
So if you don't stop
Proposed.
every 5 minutes and apply
deodorant.
deodorant.
that was if this is Amanda Ripley, I was hoping more like a shower mechanic. That'd be.
Whoa.
Yeah. We'll be like, oh, you haven't showered in a while. That's.
No, see the lack of the plastic and for the pails.
Oh.
They have lack of mirroring.
There's no
There's no
mirroring.
mirrors in space.
Can we switch from first person to third person?
It goes to a cutscene. They hire
No,
Hideo Kojima.
Oculus Rift.
Oculus
You can
Rift.
look down.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is actually a game to me, or a genre that would lend itself well to the Oculus as well. I think
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah.
I mean, I would crap my pants to just see
You definitely
a
need
friggin'
like some sort
xenomorph
of,
grab me by the head and lift me up, and I'm just like, ah!
You're like, hey guys, check out my gaming rig. Why is it in your bathroom? Well, I've been playing.
Toilet physics here. You don't
I've been
understand.
playing Alien Isolation.
Check out my
with the
sweet new
Oculus.
gamer chair. It's a toilet seat.
It's like a space chair.
Right.
Space chair.
Absolutely. So
Go with the space bucket.
So speaking of other survival horror games, there's a lot more that are coming out this year too. Chris, you were looking at some
yeah,
other
there were a
ones?
couple. Was looking at some of them. There are some interesting ones. There's I think it's called Routine. I think is that right? Routine, something like that. Yeah.
Is it spelled T-E-E-N?
No,
Like roots and teen?
No, like routine, like the things you do during the day, not like poutine, like the Canadian
Oh, okay.
French fries with cheese curds on them or something like that. But
Damn
we just
Canadians.
lost our 3 Canadian
They're
viewers.
like, what's this all about? Oh, I'm out.
I'm sorry, podcast, but I'm turning you off.
We love
No,
cheese curds here.
like the idea with it is it's a survival horror game that I believe you're on the moon, or like a moon base.
Yes.
And it like looking at the demo video,
Moon-based alpha or moon-based Zappa?
Zappa.
Nice.
Like it kind of looks a little like Dead Space, but not quite as like Aftermath Dead Space. But the thing that will kind of make it interesting is it sounds like there's no health and there may be no saves. So it may be like there may be like maybe a level save,
Okay.
but yeah, if you die, you start over, which could either be really interesting or really friggin' frustrating.
They love those roguelike mechanics lately. That
Yeah.
seems to be very common.
Yeah. There was another one, like Franbo, which sounds really weird, but apparently you play a little girl named
Rambo.
who basically sees her parents, something happened to her parents and then is committed. And it's a point-and-click adventure where you travel around the asylum and try and figure out, how to get out, and you have this pet cat named Mr. Midnight that you're trying to meet back up with. And some of the game mechanics involve taking medications to access different areas. It's very similar to if you've ever played a long time ago, there was a game called Darkseid that was kind of a point and click style game where there were like individual rooms and you'd move between the rooms.
There's a game mechanic for taking medication.
Apparently there's a game mechanic for taking the medication and it changes the layout of the room.
Because you're tripping
I'm
balls.
I'm gonna call this right now. Really upsetting ending. That's what I'm gonna say. You wake up and the doctor's like, "You're cured," and you're like, "I was wrestling with demons that whole time."
Like, oh, this is very morally. Yes, I see where this was going.
Saint elsewhere, you sons of bitches.
Well, no, I thought you were gonna focus on that pill mechanic or whatever, like medication. I'm like, yeah, it was like Far Cry 2, where you're just popping malaria pills left and right. You're like, oh, I got malaria, I gotta take pills. I'm fine now. I'm good. Yeah, it works.
Like Fallout, where you run around with the rat away.
Rat away, yeah.
Radiation's
No,
gone.
radiation's gone. All I gotta do is just pump it in there.
I don't glow at night anymore. But yeah, there seems like there's going to be a lot of interesting survival horror games. Unfortunately, it seems like there are probably a handful that are going to borrow heavily from the zombie genre. And I think, maybe it's just me, but I think the zombie genre is getting a little played out.
Yeah, it's done.
It's a little played out.
I'm a
But
little...
you're saying like Rust and
Like Daisy and Rust.
I'm Alive.
Is
Well,
Rust
I'm Alive
zombies?
was not really zombies.
Is Rust zombies? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Rust.
Oh, it
Rust,
is?
Rust is
Oh.
zombies. Spoiler alert.
I heard good things about it, but I didn't know it was a zombie game.
Because there was that. There was like.
There's the big weapon
Deadlight,
is a trombone in that game, right?
Rust.
Trombone.
Jokes that count.
Slash
Angel-
Ryan
Angel
Slash
Fire.
bad jokes.
Slash shit Ryan says.
We need to make a page now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shit Ryan says. I'm gonna
But
need you
yeah,
to make
it seems like there are probably going to be a decent handful of survival horror games coming out. So it'll be kind of interesting, especially if the Oculus does make a more mainstream appearance here towards the summer, because the scheduled release date commercially was
June?
yeah, something like that.
I think.
So
Well,
yeah,
I don't know if this is like a genre I play. Like I've watched you play Amnesia a couple of times. You being Nate.
Have you,
Yes.
For the listeners. But I don't know. I just
wait, did you just call all the listeners Nate?
what?
He's just
I'm
trying to
still in like
derail.
a wake up haze. The shift change here. So I don't know. I don't think I'm interested.
You don't subscribe to it. Like what?
Yeah,
what
I guess
would
like it's.
interest you. Like what
For-
mechanic
for-
would interest you?
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Alien game simply because I like the universe and it'll be kind of fun to play. But I don't know. I guess maybe just the whole shit your pants kind of thing moments kind of get old after a while. It's different. With graphics being better, I think it'll be a little bit more entertaining. But quick save options, I like quick saves. There's a lot of games that are like you got to play all the way through, and I don't know if I have that much time.
well, like,
It's just not my style of game.
sure.
I think
Like,
that's-
I'll say this. I'm not into, like, horror movies so much. Like, I'll go see them, whatever.
Yeah, it's
but
fun,
it's
but
not
it's
my
not-
it's not my thing. Like, I won't say, hey, guys, let's go watch this, And I didn't think that I would like horror games until I played Dead Space. As soon as I played Dead Space and realized how much it got to me, like, holy crap, like I've never had a video game experience like that. And it's not even really one of the I'm not even going to say it's in the top 3 genres for the games I play.
Just the first one.
But if you only play the first one, I mean the others are good, but the first one is
Best.
It is really good in that you probably haven't played something like it before. The others are a tad predictable once you've played the first one.
Actiony. They're
Two-
actiony
two more
too.
actiony?
Like especially
Yeah.
3 went
'Cause it
really
went co-op.
action-based. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and that
Yeah,
takes some of the terror out of it when you're playing with others.
Maybe. I only played Dead Space 3 together, and it was fun. I liked it, though.
Yeah.
And there were still some like moments like, oh, God.
Yeah.
They split you up, and then they'd put the horror on one side to one person, and then the other one would just.
It was quite creepy.
Yeah, like I think they wanted Gears of War to be like the action / kind of scary, and it wasn't at all for me. I mean, it was actiony, but it wasn't like terror.
It wasn't like
anyway,
Doom.
I don't know. I would say that if you're a viewer and you haven't played anything in the survival horror section and you don't just get absolutely terrified by scary movies, they're just not really your thing or what. I would give Dead Space a try, and maybe Alien Isolation is next on your list after that. Would I recommend paying full price for Dead Space 2 or 3? Probably not. But at this point, you're not paying full price for them anyway.
No, they super discounted the last couple of times.
Yeah. Right. Really, the only complaint I had with Dead Space was the camera angle sometimes gets annoying because it's third person.
Yeah.
But it's not like straight behind third person. It's kind of like offset.
Off a shoulder.
Yeah. So sometimes aiming gets a little wonky and it's weird, but it is still a creepy game to play.
Yeah.
Had some cool HUD mechanics too. How they did everything very minimalistic and had it all like based off his suit.
Yeah.
And what they did for saving in that, you could not quick save in Dead Space. It was levels that were, how do you say that? It was open world, sort of. It was, the levels were open. You could go wherever you want in the level. And then you took a tram to the next place in the ship, that you needed to go, and then that was open. And there are save locations in each area that you go to, and if you really want to, like, okay, I've only got 45 minutes for this, and there's one that appears to be at the other end where I need to get, but, I don't want to lose everything I've done, you can just run back through the areas you've come to and go to a save station and save again. Right. I think if you play on the hardest difficulties, there's a maximum number of times you can save, but you don't have to play that way. I think that's insanity.
Yeah.
It works that way. I don't know. Anyway, I would recommend playing it. Alien Isolation looked really good to me because I think there's actually some stuff you have to do to try and fire up systems without, they pose little things that try and put you in close proximity to the alien, so you have to be kind of stealthy and watching for where it's at without being seen, without being heard, possibly without being smelled.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll put you in situations where you're going to be uncomfortable and have that hair-raising feeling, like if you ever played hide and seek growing up. Same way.
But those are really good for me. Ones that make you feel emotion when you're playing it. I mean, when I played My Little Ponies and cried at the end, that was right up there.
Sparkle Ponies just gets you every time.
It does.
It's understandable. It is. It is heart wrenching.
Oh, good Lord! All right, well, I think we talked that one to death. Let's move on to a little more TV news here.
TV news.
TV news.
Ooh,
TV news.
Back to HBO huh? and Skinamax.
Oh, you love the Skinamax. No,
Hobo.
Hobo.
The only hobo that's rich.
No, this is. I believe is Fox. Fox wants to create a series based on.
They're creating a series. Production began March.
Of Gotham, which is supposed to be set in the Batman universe, but does not have Batman in it. It may have Batman.
It does not have Batman. Now, the basic premise is that the series starts right after the death of Bruce Wayne's parents.
And
follows Jim Gordon, who's the commissioner. Who's the commissioner in the games. Like, he, at the beginning of the series, he has just started on the Gotham police force. So he's like new guy in town and gets thrown on this. The two richest people in Gotham just got murdered. Find out who did it. And kind of follows him and his path through the Batman universe. Sorry, I almost said Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I punched myself on that one.
Oh no.
Oh my, DC.
Kind of follows him on the path to the grown-up Batman and how he ends up as police commissioner, and alongside a teenage Bruce Wayne that is also growing up alongside him.
And Bullock.
Harvey Bullock is who Gordon gets teamed up with. Who, if you watch the animated series, you know who that is.
He's the jackass.
Disgruntled cop.
Yeah.
So You think this is going to be is this going to be like police procedural drama? Like,
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't
It's
know.
not going to be friggin' the next SVU.
Yeah. I don't think
no,
it's gonna
but
be
like
like
that.
CSI.
Are they going to kind of do that kind of, or is it just going to be gritty
Yeah,
drama?
you could,
I think you're probably gonna run into more like gritty like crime drama.
Okay.
It's gonna be,
S-
you think
Sopranos
like combo.
No, I know, but that would be hilarious. It's like, oh man, we've got the Joker right here. There's blood
Yeah.
seeping all over this.
I hope they don't go the CSI route. I'm almost
Oh,
thinking
good
like
God.
the producer may have been somehow involved in one of the CSI.
No,
that might
don't
be a
tell me
problem.
that.
But yeah, I hope they stay away from that just because at this point the CSI, cops and the way they do things has been done to death as
Yes.
well. It's like CSI,
NYPD
NCIS,
Blue,
all-
NCIS,
Yeah, that's overdone.
FUCKYU.
Whoa, whoa! I don't remember that show. Was there side boob in that show?
Oh yeah,
Oh, sweet.
all kinds of
all
stuff.
kinds of side.
I think it could be good even without Batman because Gotham is you can do whatever you want with it because there's vigilantes that are running around that are
true.
older than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can be the dawn of the vigilante era for Gotham.
Well, and the series is supposed to introduce a lot of the current villains,
Okay.
like prior to them being major Batman villains. So I think the first two that were listed were Catwoman and Penguin.
Catwoman would be young though. I
Yeah,
would
she's a
think.
teenager.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
show. So
okay.
she's a teenage like orphan who has started down the path. So
Is this the Smallville effect?
I don't know. I don't know how much the issue kind of is. I know with Superman there were Superboy comics, so there was kind of
Yeah.
a younger Superman going through this stuff growing up. So there was canon. I don't know how much Batman history exists pre, him becoming Batman.
Yeah. So
It also really depends on what angle they throw, right? Because it will be clear once this show starts. It will be clear whether this show is about young Bruce Wayne or whether they said it was about Gordon,
Right.
Right.
The original intention was it was solely Gordon.
So I think it could be good
yeah, that could be
because I think the young Bruce Wayne will be a little bit
boring.
a little bit played, a little bit like are they trying to make a Batman Smallville?
Yeah.
Which, same universe, right? It's DC, so
Yeah.
maybe that is a little bit what they're thinking, but I think it could be good.
I think having Batman be as young as he is kind of gives them a little bit of like a side running plot line because as a young teenager you can have him with being super rich and not really having any parents getting into all kinds of trouble and the Gordon character kind of teaching him, and I don't want to necessarily say like mentoring him, but maybe that's the way they play it, is that a lot of the beliefs Batman has about not using guns and not killing people and stuff like that, they'll kind of play as Gordon helped to instill some of this in him because that's the right thing to do as a cop, because Gordon's always been portrayed as the best the best example of what a good cop should be, because he's always looking to solve it without just throwing away the case or pinning on somebody who didn't do it or anything like
Right.
that. So he's always been kind of the voice of reason.
So Alfred's going to be in like his 40s,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something
it's kind of
like
a-
that,
yeah,
maybe
Alfred.
50s.
Maybe he'll play a bigger role in it too.
I don't know. And do you think we will see the resurgence of what was his character's name? Fox, the
Lucius
Fox?
yes.
I would think so at some point. I'm pretty sure one of the
But you can't really
things
make Gordon Freeman or wow,
Gordon Freeman showing up.
Morgan Freeman. No,
Morgan
you
Freeman. You can't really make him look younger.
I
can
saw
you?
how you
Yeah.
mix those two up now.
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Lightfoot.
police commissioner-
Gordon Lightfoot coming into.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's funny. It's good.
But yeah, I'd even seen one mention that Montoya, if you remember,
Yep.
Yes.
From the animated
series, is slated to be a character in the
Why
show.
don't they just remake the animated series? I would totally watch that.
You know what? If they took all the same, I know Mark Hamill said he wasn't going to do Joker anymore for that, but if they did that and took it to a darker state, that would be interesting.
I mean, it was already kind of dark too. I know
It was really dark.
like that show for its time. Granted, it was still a kids show, but it
Yeah,
was
it's kind of a dark kid show.
yeah.
was still
You don't see that
badass
anymore.
Batman animated series.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
great.
I still
it's
watch
fun.
that
Yeah.
to this day.
Yes.
We'll go back and rewatch.
That's one of
episodes
those
and
you go
that.
and you buy the special edition box set of every season.
Yes, because it's
'Cause fuck
freaking
yes.
worth it.
Fuck
Yeah,
yes.
freaking worth it. I mean, they had so many good voice actors in it too.
Yeah, they did. It was ridiculous how many good.
Even Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Perlman's. He was in that.
But yeah, it seems like it should be kind of interesting because they kind of have a lot of room to play with the characters, and I'm pretty sure that they said that they're gonna play it like and it may come back to bite them in the ass. They're gonna play it completely separate from the from the movie canon.
Oh, okay.
So they're not gonna try and make it conform to Batman Returns. No, Batman Forever. Sorry, had the Riddler, and the Riddler was a employee who went crazy or something.
Right. Edward Nygma.
Yeah. The Riddler is slated to appear in the series, and I don't know if he's also an employee still of like Wayne Enterprises, or if he's maybe like a student or something like that. I don't remember what, but I don't know if they play him
College.
exactly the same, but they kind of work it a little differently. Or no, actually, I think he is a member of the police force in.
Whoa,
in
that
Gotham.
is
That
totally
is
different.
weird and random.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of a offbeat
consultant or something.
I don't know exactly what his position is in the police force, but it's kind of like he's kind of like an offbeat employee of the police
Wow.
who ends up becoming the Riddler. So.
Is this gonna be on FX, or do we know which of their subsidiaries it's
I
gonna be
do
on?
not know off the top of my head which stations it's going
Whether
to be
it's going to
on.
go prime time on
it is strictly-
Fox itself.
Yeah, I believe it is definitely prime time on Fox. I don't know if they're going to run it to any other of their subsidiary channels. I would hope they would probably do something similar like what NBC did with Heroes, where they'd show it on Fox, or they'd show it on NBC, and then a couple days later it would show up on the Sci-Fi channel.
Yeah.
So you'll have Fox show it on whatever inconvenient night they decide to pick. And then you can,
Friday at 10 p.m.
Right.
when everybody is either
Out doing
doing
stuff.
stuff or
and then you can catch it at the more convenient time on either FX or FXX or FXXX.
That's a different channel.
That
XX.
might be a different channel.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that channel.
Yeah. So I think it will be really interesting. Like I said,
side boob.
oh hello, Officer Gordon. You hit
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
When I wrecked that Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh shit. That was Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, I know.
That's what he said.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Too many
Full
Gordons.
circle.
Too many Gordons.
I don't know.
Gordon's fisherman.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
Cook me this steak, Gordon Ramsay. Okay.
I don't know who killed him, but he did a shitty job. This murder job is shit. Start over. So yeah, I think as long as they stay away from like the CSI getting too heavily into, I'm gonna take this,
Put it into the
evidence,
bat
and
computer.
I'm gonna
and-
put it into the
You've convinced me.
thing with the.
Yeah, I am excited.
Because I was
going to
say at first, knowledge of hearing about this show, I was like, God, really? I'm like, because the Shield's not doing good, and I haven't even bothered to watch it.
Yeah, the Agents of Shield.
Yeah, Agents
Agents
of Shield, and I'm
I
like,
have not
man,
watched.
I worried that if it was following Gordon, it would be too.
Yeah.
Well, but it's strong characters, though,
If
right?
they Breaking Bad it, and go like that route with the drama as opposed to going to like a police.
Yeah, as opposed to like.
Clearly, the public, the watching masses are interested in super gritty, super like borderline X-rated,
yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you look at what got ridiculously popular, True Blood, and you look at Game of Thrones, which is also ridiculously Spartacus,
Dexter,
right? Exactly,
all of that.
You look at all this stuff that just blew up and had a huge following. I think don't try and win over the kids that want to be Batman when they grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Win over make a big series out of this by going dark and making these villains really evil.
Yeah, and I was going to say two things. One, I think the issue between this versus Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of flowed out of the Avengers.
Right.
And with this one not, following the Batman trilogy that just came out doesn't have quite the same onus as you're showing me all this stuff. Where are these people that were in the movie? I want to see them in the show.
Yeah.
This is a show that stands on its own, that doesn't care what happened in the movies. And
Different
can totally-
timeline.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
timeline, can totally do what it wants, so it totally makes sense that you won't see, anybody. You won't see, Heath Ledger won't show up in the... Wait. No? Too soon? I'm sorry. My bad. And the other thing, and this is not really interesting to most people, but it's kind of interesting when I read it. This was part of a set of shows that Fox picked up with no pilot.
Huh.
So
Fox-
they're committed.
Right.
they
Fox
are.
basically a couple months ago, towards the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, took a handful of shows and said, "We don't care. Make them. Make a full season of them. We're paying for it. If it does great, great. If it does terrible, we're out a bunch of money." But at this point, it sucks to put out an episode and have a bunch of people like it, but not enough people like it, so it doesn't get picked up, and everybody's like, "Well, you just made a pilot and wasted everybody's time."
That's odd.
Like, this show is a full season with no pilot whatsoever.
And Fox is always, actually, I would say of all the stations, they take the risk, but they kill it early. Is what it seems like. Fox, they did that with Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles. They've done that with a lot of shows in the past. Space Above and Beyond was another one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That Fox picked up for those 90s listeners.
Picked up and then one season.
One season dropped. Yeah, they're quick to try new ideas and see if they'll
I think
throw
that's
it.
good, though.
Well, I like that. Yeah, that's what I like about Fox.
I'd rather have a season of a show than
no
one
season.
episode.
Yeah.
And a pilot where you're like, this is really awesome, and then nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
And apparently nobody else felt that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be kind of interesting. I think the other two shows are in no way related to this whatsoever, but they
Cop
got the same
dramas.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Kramas.
Damn it.
Cram them in there.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting that they pretty much were like, you know what, we're just gonna, whole hog this one, make a season,
Yep.
put it out there. It'll do what it'll do, and
We'll watch.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
Ryan, will you watch?
Yeah, I think I will.
Josh, will watch.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it 4 days later. When you can't find it, and have to download it illegally.
that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch it too. You've convinced me, Chris. You are now a part of the Church of Fox. You are the Church of Fox.
We meet every week.
Foxentology.
Bring your favorite Simpsons towel.
Maybe even a Family Guy.
Maybe a Family
mug.
Guy episode.
Yeah.
Married with children tie.
Whoa.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna have to wrap it up. We had some other ideas for topics, but I think to cram that in would be too much. So that's gonna do it. If you
If you don't feel comfortable cramming it in, we definitely don't want to cram it in.
we don't want to cram it in.
Especially if you're not going to shout.
Chewie, get us out of here! All right. If you like,
Call it Chewy? Is it like? Is that a hair thing? Or
it might be. It might.
it's just it's a sidekick, so you're like,
Yes.
So just get down there. I don't care what you smell.
Yes. Oh. Shut down all the garbage smashes on the detention level. 3PO. All right. If you like what you hear, go to Facebook and like us there. That's a Fairly Awesome Podcast on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at FapCast. Or check us out on our YouTube channel and like all our videos there. Comment, let us know any of the topics that you would like to hear. If you've got comments or questions or anything for us, we'd love to hear from you. So
We all also are over on the iTunes. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, with this now not having any video to it, if you'd rather just listen to the audio on your phone or whatever, we're over on the iTunes as well. So
yes,
find it there.
on Z iTunes, and give us a review on there too. Let us know if you like what you're hearing, and tell us what we can do better. And
Yeah, let us know if we've properly tickled your
Fancy.
oral holes.
oh my! And on that note, I will leave you with that gem. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.